Welcome everyone, this is a meeting with the Board of Selectmen. Today is June 22nd, it is 12 p.m. It's a quick meeting to approve 3 conservation restrictions for the Coalition of Buzzards Bay. One of them being the Acushnet Forest Conservation Restriction. This is a CR that is part of the Mattapoisett River Valley Drinking Water Aquifer Protection Project that the town meeting recently supported with CPC funding. Buzzards Bay Coalition will own the property and the Concom will co-hold the CR with other partner towns. Public access will be allowed for passive recreation. The second conservation restriction, known as Trips Mill Brook, this will be a CR over the parcel that provides access to the Acushnet Forest property from Mattapoisett Road. Buzzards Bay Coalition will own the property and the Concom will hold this conservation restriction. Public access will be allowed for passive recreation. The third one, Long Plain Forest, this property is mostly in Rochester, but 2 acres are in Acushnet. Rochester Land Trust will own the property and Buzzards Bay Coalition will hold the conservation restriction. Public access will be allowed for passive recreation. Last night, the Conservation Committee met on this exact subject matter. Gentlemen, it was very well vetted by the Conservation Commission. I commend Chairman Rocha for the job that he did with the coalition. Mr. Alan Decker, we have Mr. Alan Decker in the audience with us right now to go over any questions on the 3 subject properties. Mr. Decker, the podium's all yours.
Appreciate the opportunity to be with you, Mr. Chair, fellow board members. As was summarized, these 3 conservation restrictions all affect property in Acushnet. They will all be open for public access and passive recreation. The Trips Mill Brook project, which is the one that fronts on Mattapoisett Road, will provide the access into the Acushnet Forest portion of the Red Brick Farm, the multi-town project that spans into Mattapoisett. Coalition is closing on those 2 properties in the next 10 days, and we needed to get these conservation restrictions through the approval process. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you on those. The Long Plain Forest project is, as was mentioned, principally in Rochester, but 2 acres does span across into Acushnet. So that's the reason for getting your approval this afternoon. Conservation Commission did not take that one up, as Rochester Land Trust will be the owner and the coalition, as mentioned, will be the holder. I don't have anything further to add to the summarization that was provided, but I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have at this time.
Yeah, so I noticed there was a question last night, I think it was by the agent, that had brought up boundaries and making survey and things of the like, and you had gone through some detail that surveying will take place, and boundaries for encroachment and things of the like will be taken care of. There's only a few, I guess, small encroachments that you had talked about, very little, if at all any. So once you define all your property bounds, I guess you'll talk to property owners that abut your properties, is that correct?
That is correct, and actually the survey work has been completed. Excellent. We have entire boundary surveys for all 3 properties, and there are a number of homeowner partners that our neighbors that we're going to be involved with along Mattapoisett Road. But as soon as the property is acquired by us, we will be out meeting those neighbors and ensuring that they understand and the agreement is in place as to where the boundaries are. We do not know of any particular encroachments at this time.
Oh, excellent. Gentlemen.
I thought it was pretty well handled last night on conservation, and I appreciate you reaching out to the abutting neighbors, because that was one of my main concerns, was making sure the residents abutting this property weren't too disturbed by people wanting to utilize the property, which, I'm all for open space protection, and I think this is a great project. So
absolutely, yeah. There are access points along Mattapoisett Road and off of Holly Court, Holly Drive.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yes, and we are reserving the ability to create 2 parking areas for ease of access. We will absolutely design those in concert with the neighbors so that it's as little intrusive as possible.
Excellent. I think it's pretty cool. One of the properties you spoke about last night, and I forget which one exactly it was, but they're still farming it, corn farming it. And I think that's pretty cool that that's still being allowed to exist on that property.
Appreciate that. That is a continued reserve right. That's on the Mattapoisett portion of the Acushnet Forest / Red Brick Farm West property. Farming will continue over there. It's worth noting, I think, that the Acushnet Forest, this 80 acres that's in Acushnet, was slated for development before the coalition got involved, and now it will remain aquifer protection land, forested, open, public use, passive recreation,
Yeah.
natural resource protection.
That was a proposed solar farm, right? You said last night, I think?
Correct.
Yeah. So thank you for that
Yep.
purchase. I mean, it was a game changer for me, for that last funding source that you were looking for, that $85,000. That was the game changer. Adding in that extra land is 100% game changer for me. That's a hell of a deal, and if I could get that deal every day, I'd buy as much land as I could. So
There you
thank
go.
you very much for pursuing that land,
Happy to do
making
it.
that part of that project. It's really incredible. Selectman Wallner?
I agree with all the above. My allergies are kicking the crap out of me today, so I'm going to be quiet.
All right. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I need to make 3 separate motions. First one, I move to accept the conservation restriction for Trips Mill Brooks project.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the conservation restriction for Red Brick Farms West project.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the conservation restriction for Long Plain Forest project.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, I have signature pages to hand up if.
Excellent.
all right.
Yep.
Very good.
Let's get it done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.